It's that time. I'm ready for a new studio space. I want to say this is probably version 5 of all the studios I have made. And over those studio builds, I've learned so much about how to create a studio space. So come along with me. Oh, and by the way, I'm linking most of my equipment in my Amazon storefront, so you can find it in the link below. Hey guys, I'm going to renovate my studio space and I'm going to take you guys along for the journey. And hopefully this helps you with your at-home studio. I'll show you my step-by-step process, how I'm going to approach certain things, and how I'm going to figure out what I need in my space. So let me show you what I'm working with first. This is probably the studio space that you're familiar seeing me in. It's about maybe a 5 by 5 foot space, maybe a little bit smaller than that. I have bass traps that I made in the corners. These are with some thin plywood and what's it called? Foam bedding cover. I have professional soundproofing foam on the 3 walls. And then this is rock wool that I made. It's about maybe 4 or 5 inches thick. It's a bit of an eyesore for me, and unfortunately I have to keep these lights on green mode to color balance whenever I'm in Zoom sessions. But my clients love to see the background that I have, and it looks very nice. I also have a drop ceiling. Who knows if that's really doing that much to help me. What we're going to do is we're going to move into the office space that I never actually used, so it turned into storage space. And I figured, one, let's get myself out of the closet and I can work in this full room. It's going to be quite a bit of money to soundproof this entire room, but I'm at a point where I'm capable of doing that, and then I can actually use the closet space for storage instead of having to walk through this mess every day. So the panels that you currently see are from my trailer renovation before I crashed the trailer, and I was so fortunate that none of them got really damaged, except for this one where some of those pieces got busted in. These panels that you see right here are part of Acoustics Alpha series. They're a bit more intense whenever it comes to soundproofing. And step 1 that I'm going to do is reach out to Acoustics, send them the dimensions and specs of my room. I'll have them design what the room should look like. And whenever it comes to these more upgraded panels, if they say that I need any more, then I'm going to order that from them because I can't just go and make this kind of panel myself. But whenever it comes to these cream colored panels, which consisted of the majority of what they designed for my studio, I'm absolutely going to be able to make those on my own, and I'll show you what they look like from the back. So these are probably like 4 or 5 inches thick. This is just rock wool material, and I can get rock wool at Home Depot, and then they're just nicely done. This is really just like a very normal kind of fabric. It's nothing special. So I will show you how I'm going to go about making these, the kind of design that Acoustics designs for me, and the different steps that I need to take to fully soundproof this room. Maybe what I'm going to do to handle the window. And then whenever it comes to the door, I want to make it airtight. So I'm probably going to put some sealing material to make that airtight. And once you make a space airtight, it really does a lot for the sound. So I guess I'll take you guys along. I don't know how many videos this is going to be, but talk to you soon. All right, quick update. I added some more panels to the wall. I spoke with Mike over at Acoustics and told him about our car wreck and that I still have all of the panels and that I want to set up this room. So what I did was I sent him pictures of this room with the dimensions and reminded him that I'm a voice actor and, the types of work that I'll be doing in this room. He told me to set up the back wall exactly like I had in my studio, but I had already hung some of the panels and I do like it more filled in like this. So that's what I did. And then he told me to hang, I have more panels in the garage. He told me to hang the rest of the panels, including the Alpha series, these wooden faced ones, on this wall. And then I'm going to get a couple more Alphas to put on either side of the window. He suggested that I take the theater curtain that I had originally had in the trailer and use one to cover the window and then one to cover the door. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll order the Alpha series from him, and then I'm going to make this and show you guys what that looks like to make it, because it's pretty simple. I'm going to take the guitars down, even though he said that I don't have to, and he recommended that I take the mirror down. So that's the update for now. So this is the standing desk that I had also used in the trailer. I got it off of OfferUp for $150, which to me was a total steal. Just the motors for this thing are like $150. And I wanted it to look, nice and fresh and have everything have a more cohesive look to it. So I went to Ikea and got just a regular table desk top. And I think that ran me about $150. This is important to me because I'm constantly standing up and sitting down. For really long form recordings, I like to sit. But sometimes when I'm in an animated recording or a video game, I really need to get my body more engaged. And you can hear the difference when I'm standing up and really using my body for the recordings. This is just a preview. I'll eventually make a video on exactly how I made these sound panels, but over the years my husband and I have gathered enough tools to be able to do this, and it was a lot of fun to work on, and as you can see, they really did turn out exactly like the old panels. It's hard to tell which is which. Okay, so we have these panels hung on the wall. Now we have 6 panels that we're gonna put on the ceiling, and that will eventually leave just the window wall without anything. Our contractor is going to convert this window into a door, and then I'm gonna order Acoustics Alpha Series panels with the scatter panels on front for the sides, and then if I need more panels, I'll make them based off of what the measurements I have left are. This is the trickiest part for me, hanging these ceiling panels on the ceiling. It's difficult for me to gauge exactly where to put the hooks and the spacing in between them all while you're trying to hold something up, but this is where we're gonna start. This is a D-ring. I got a pack of 100 for 10 bucks on Amazon. I'm going to attach these 4 of them to the panels for the ceiling, and then in about an hour Amazon's dropping off these carabiner hooks that are going to screw directly into the ceiling, and my goal is I'm not going to have them totally flush. What I've learned from Lenny, my audio engineer, Lenny B, you can go check him out on YouTube, is that it's better to have the ceiling panels asymmetrical to prevent the sound from bouncing around the room too perfectly. So I'm going to add some zip ties in between some of them, so maybe some of the panels are more like this, some are more like that. All right, let's do it. All right, so the first thing I did was remove the ceiling fan. These panels would have gone up under the blades and I wouldn't have been able to use it anyways, so go ahead and take it on down. And then I used zip ties because it gave me more flexibility, one, in hanging the panels so I could get my hand up in there. And then once everything's up, I wanted the ability to kind of adjust them. In the trailer build, if you remember, I used bungee cord ties because that's what I thought to do. But especially in the trailer when it's bouncing around, then the bungee cord ties didn't want to hold quite as well, and we eventually moved to zip ties, which made way more sense. Also, you might notice that not every square inch of my studio space is covered. The smaller the studio space you have, the more you really need to cover more and more of the wall space and the ceiling space. But whenever you speak to an audio engineer like Acoustics, and they'll give you basically, kind of a design for free because they're hoping that you order through them, which is, to me, I think that's brilliant and so helpful. Or if you have an audio engineer that's familiar with the way that sound behaves, you can calculate how sound is going to bounce around. So you're really more focused on the reflections that you're mitigating within the space that you have, and every space is unique. In the end, we ended up making more panels than I thought we would. We made 5 more ceiling panels. We eventually made panels to the left of me where you see that brown shelf. And then we made the panels that eventually go on the window wall. So we saved quite a bit of money making them ourselves, but that's that we had all of the tools and everything that we already needed. So after calculating the cost, I want to say we saved over 50% in the materials making it for ourselves. But you have the sweat equity and you have, the tools that you need to buy and all of that stuff. So the prices at Acoustics actually made even more sense after I just went ahead and made them myself because, to count labor cost and all of that, it's a really fair price. We decided this shelf had to go. We wanted to put panels there. The contractor came and installed our new door, and keep an eye out for part 2. See you guys soon.